Hey, MacDowin here. Today was a pretty special day. Today, Hasbro had its first Fan First Friday for G.I. Joe of 2022, and they had a bunch of cool stuff to show off, and it was really exciting. There's a hype train. As far as I'm concerned, there's a hype train, and I'm on it, and I can't wait for these figures to get released sometime in the future. We're going to just jump right into them. I'm going to have a reaction, going to talk about some of this stuff a little bit, and we're just going to have some fun together. So the first reveal was Xamot, the first of the Crimson Guard commanders, or some people refer to them as the Evil Twins. But the first one is Xamot, and he's the one with the scar on the left side of his face. So I gotta say, between him and Tomax, they are pretty cool figures. The design is really pretty awesome. Can zoom in here. I mean, just look at this. They got the sash. They've got the snake knee pads on there. They are really sweet, really good looking figures. Now, I don't know how much of this is reused. I'd like to say there's definitely some original parts here. There's probably some reuse in the arms, probably some reuse somewhere up in the torso. I'm guessing that the sash and the neck guard and the arm shield or the shoulder shield is probably added on, so maybe that torso has been used before. These are digital renders, by the way. These are not actual figures. They mentioned that they only had digital renders because they wanted to get some information out to us earlier than later that these are coming sometime this year. And if I remember right, I think these were leaked to be like early summer, early midsummer, somewhere in there. But with the shipping, worldwide shipping things, who knows what's going on. But yeah, I'm just going to say right out, this guy is awesome. And then we'll flip over here to Tomax. It's really actually interesting. I think they have a slightly, I don't know, can I get, there we go. That's kind of a cool little view. I almost kind of think that they have a slightly different smile. Well, not a smile, but a smirk on their face. The face is mirrored, so that could be what's throwing me off here. Xamot has his right eyebrow arched, and Tomax has his left eyebrow arched. So they are definitely mirror images, but I almost want to say that that smile, that smirk, is a little different. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe it's just throwing me off. I sure hope Hasbro goes ahead and puts out some sort of a 2-pack for these. It would be reminiscent of the old days, because originally in the 80s, Tomax and Xamot came in a 2-pack, and the package was so awesome that there was mirrors on the side of the package, so you would see it was like looking at it. It was really cool. I'll try and throw up a picture of it real quick, but it was such an awesome, cool packaging. I never had it when I was a kid, but it was such a cool deal. And if they would, they probably won't, but if they had to kind of do some classified updated version of the 2-pack mirror packaging, that would just be really cool. I think that would just make it. But if these are individual figures, they won't be as special, I don't think. But these guys look great. It's just like, oh man, I'm not a huge fan of jumping forward in time. I'm not a huge fan of time travel, but I'm thinking I like time travel right now. Let's just jump to every single release of Classified, get the figures, and sit back and be happy. I know, no patience. I'm in the new world where we get one overnight shipping or two-day shipping. Thank you, Amazon. But I'm getting impatient. It's fun. This is fun. Next, we have Stalker, and it's interesting. They didn't, when they said his name, they said Stalker. They didn't say like Lonzo Wilkinson, I think it is, even though the retro 4-inch figure had the full Lonzo, quote, Stalker, quote, Wilkinson. So hopefully, maybe, we probably will get the real name on it like Beachhead and Breaker had, but a lot of people, this is a favorite character for a lot of people. And we're getting him finally in classified form. And he's very subtle. He's not like over the top crazy. And I think it works. I think this really works for him. His scarf is really interesting. I've never seen him wear that type of thing before. That's an interesting touch, and I'm sure it's removable if you don't like it. But look at that. I mean, the camo is very subtle. It's not like a light green outfit. I guess with the original Stalker, the light green outfit with the dark green camo, that it was very, you could see very distinctive camo on there. It's a very subtle. Like, he could get down into a bush and hide really well. Let's look at his face sculpt. I mean, that is Stalker. Wouldn't you say? That looks like him. That looks like he means business, and he should. You know, he's a get in and tend to business kind of guy. I really like this. He's got fingerless gloves. You know, he's as basic as he needs to be, and I don't mean that in a bad way. He looks great. He really does. And I'm pretty excited for when this figure comes out. Now, I don't know how many of you are going to agree with this, but I really liked Stalker version 2. The kind of the winter. He came with the boat, the kayak. So hopefully someday we'll get that. That would be pretty cool. That could be a vehicle pack. Stalker and the kayak. Or is it a canoe? Maybe it was a canoe. It's the boat. Alright, moving on to the Baroness. Now, generally speaking, this is nothing really that new. So what they've done, what they said here is this is a re-release. Okay, so let me back up. We heard through His Tank, I think it was His Tank, broke the news that we are most likely going to be getting retro carded classified figures. So if you're familiar with Marvel Legends, think of like the Fantastic Four cards or the Spider-Man cards. They're not in the Legends packaging. They're like a retro, like they were on the day, a card in the bubble and all that stuff. So we're supposed to be getting, and I actually thought it was going to be like early spring, like not within the next month or two, maybe 3, like really soon. We were supposed to be getting some retro carded classified figures, and Baroness and Lady Jaye were the 2 that they were able to figure out. So this Baroness is supposed to be on that retro card, and they actually alluded to the packaging. They're like, it's going to be a big packaging, it's going to be huge on the shelf, it's going to be can't miss, a lot of that fun stuff. But this is mostly a repainted with a few, I heard him say a few new parts, but of the coil, the Baroness and the coil, the Target exclusive, Cobra Island Baroness. And so a lot of people who didn't get that Baroness should be pretty happy. This is, they said, like an all black version, or mostly black. There is the Cobra logo right there in the middle, and she's got red lipstick and of course a white face. Maybe it's the digital. The hair almost looks a little different to me. Maybe not. But it looks like a good figure because the original Baroness was all black with the red Cobra logo. So this looks a lot more. And that's what these are aiming for. I don't remember if he said they're all aiming for a Sunbow. I think they're all aiming to look like the Sunbow cartoon from the 80s. So, except for the original Baroness, this is not a bad, this is a good looking figure. It's just the same, mostly the same mold with different colors. Next, we've got Lady Jaye, and another one we knew about. And mostly it looks like it's just the recolor. It's just a lighter green as opposed to the darker. She looks like she still has her communicator here on her side, so that's still there. But it's mostly just a colorization to look more like the Sunbow cartoon. I like it. We had a darker green, and you know, it's a really good looking Lady Jaye, so I'll definitely be getting this one because I like the light green. That's about it. But it's a nice. They also mentioned that she's got a little bit more makeup on the face to kind of give a reminiscent, to make you think of the 80s cartoon, because I guess she had maybe some pinker cheeks. Maybe. Next, we've got O-ring stuff. So I'm going to skip O-ring for the moment, and I'm going to keep on the classified train, which is Destro. And so this Destro is the same we've gotten before. We've gotten him twice before, the main release and then the PDD, the Profit Director Destro. I don't think we've gotten another one. And again, They've just repainted it in more traditional Sunbow, so this will also be a retro classified carded figure. And, you know, I mean, sure, I mean, the first Destro we got in classified was pretty cool. Of all those 5 figures that we got, yeah, 5 figures that we got originally, I think it was a pretty big consensus that Snake Eyes and Destro were probably the best of the 5 figures. And so I thought Destro was actually really pretty good. And so, I mean, they've just recolored it. It's a simple recolor. I think it looks maybe even better. So I really like this, and I think Destro looks really pretty good. I'll bring up a question, though, at the end. I'm going to get through the rest of these. Now, this is a huge thing. This one is huge. The retro carded Gung-Ho. And he looks good, doesn't he? Can we all just look at this figure for a minute and say, that's Gung-Ho, and he looks good. This is a classic, definitely classic Sunbow looking Gung-Ho. You know, we could sit here all day and discuss this hat, whether it's the right hat or not. I can't tell. It looks like it might be the same hat. Actually, no, it's got points on it, so maybe they have a new hat there. That would be really interesting, because I see at least 1, 2, 3 points, and the points are the flat points, right? I don't know military hats very well, but there was complaints it wasn't the 5-point hat, I think, that Marines wear. This looks like it might be a new hat. It's the same. It's pretty much the same figure, just recolored. Now the vest, I think the vest might be new, because I thought the one that was released in Wave 2 of Classified had more armor plating, like on the chest and on the lower area, and it was more shut. So the vest might be brand new. And I'll be honest, I don't know if this is the correct tattoo or not. It's just a tattoo. That's all I care about. I'm not really there for how accurate is the... I'm not going to get that nitpicky. How accurate is the tattoo? And is it the right ink colors and all that stuff? I don't care. I mean, overall, this looks like Gung-Ho to me, and that's all I care about at the end of the day. But this camo, this light blue, or sorry, the darker camo on the light blue outfit, I mean, this is Gung-Ho, and I want it. Now, yeah, this is great. I love this. All right, do we have any more classified figures? We do. That's right. There is the Cobra Viper Officer and Trooper 3-pack. 1 officer, 2 troopers. And I've been hearing some groanings already that, oh, why do we need more troopers, or why do we need more Vipers? I'm sure there's some people out there who are still looking for Vipers. And people who want an army build, this is a great, you know, you get 1 officer, 2 troopers. This looks like a pretty cool army build. I like how the officer does look different than the Vipers. He actually is reminiscent. I think this is kind of like an update, a classified update version to the 2014 Cobra, the Viper Officer, because we had one. I think I may not have it actually here. I'll pop it up on the screen, but we had I think it was 2014, there was a Cobra Viper Officer figure that looked a lot like this, a lot of similar colors. And with the Cobra Vipers, from what I understand, they just kind of toned down some of the brighter colors. So like the blue's not as blue, the red's not as red, if I remember what they said. And I think they look pretty good. I think this officer looks really cool. I mean, he's got this gold faceplate. He's got a gold Cobra logo right there. Sorry, it's a little bit blurry as I zoom in. It's a gray body, red vest, red gauntlets. I think he looks great. I like the Viper. I've liked the classified Viper really well, so this is going to be really, really cool to get something that's dedicated, as I said, to troop building. You know, if you're a troop builder, this could be great. Truthfully, though, it might be a little spendy. You know, if we are considering that a figure is $23, $24, times that by 3, I mean, this could be $75 to $80 pack. It's 3 figures. And all the gear. We didn't see any of the gear or the accessories. Excuse me. Because this is just digital rendering. So, but I think that's the last of the classified figures. So I think we've got some good winners here. I can't stop looking at this guy. Oh man, you know, I know some people have done recolors of the Gung-Ho that we got, but I don't think it really did it. I don't think anything I've seen has done it justice like this has. And it could be a digital rendering thing that it looks so good. I don't know. Maybe it won't look as good in hand. But if it looks this good, this is great, and I'm on board. You know, it'd be kind of cool. Funny thing, one of the things he mentioned was how he's got eyebrows. And I don't remember if our first classified Destro had the eyebrows painted or not. But what would have been really cool is to do like the really shiny vac metal on his head. I think that would have been cool. I mean, it kind of looks a little bit silver and shiny, but that could just be the computer rendering and maybe not the actual figure. But yeah, we got some really nice looking stuff. Okay, let's jump over to the O-ring. They showed off 4 new O-ring figures. So as of right now, based off of my quick count, I think we've got like 13 O-ring figures coming if you back the Sky Striker HasLab. So these Cobra Trooper, this is an officer and a trooper, troop builder is what he said. So, and it was one really cool. Lenny said that as far as he's concerned, he will never put a troop with a named character because he just doesn't think that's cool. So that anytime that they're giving us a troop, they will be by themselves or they will be in a multi-pack so that we can just buy as many as we want. Now, I know some of you may be snickering, you know, based off of the shipping problems in the world and how easy or how not easy it is to have gotten some of the troops we've gotten. I'm just kind of repeating some of the stuff they said, that's a cool thing that's he's dedicated towards. Because in the past, we've had troop builders with named characters, and you don't want, like, if you want to get 10 whatever Vipers, you don't want like 10 Tombstones or something, I don't know, or 10 Gristles or 10 Headmans, I don't know. So that's really cool. And so far as O-ring, I think these are looking really pretty good. They are different. The trooper is different than the trooper that comes with the HasLab. If I remember right, the HasLab trooper doesn't have gloves and has a couple little paint differences. I know I'm stretching there, but there is some differences there. And these are going to be a lot more shiny and a lot more fake. Is that the right word? I mean, these are fake. These are computer renderings. So the end product hand will look different than what we see, because when you look at like the faces, I mean, the faces are they look a little kiddish to me, and I don't know, I'm assuming that this is not aimed at kids simply because it's, as far as I know, it's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. All the O-ring stuff is. And I think they're making it for the collectors. I really do. So, I mean, the faces look a little toyish, kiddish. So I would imagine there's two things going on. One, it's how they now paint that's doing it. And that when we get the actual figure, the figures will look better than what the computer rendering does, is my guess. So I'm not going to pass any judgment on how these things really truly look until I get them in hand or we see samples. We're supposed to be seeing more samples as the year goes on. There's something else I'll mention in a minute. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Officer and Trooper Officer and Trooper Troop Builder Pack. Now, what's really interesting though, now, I know I said it's really cool they're not going to put like troops with named characters, but I will throw out this really interesting thought. If it's a 1-1 from officer to trooper, does that mean officers are just as abundant as troopers? I always thought you had a lot of troopers and you had fewer officers, but you had a lot of officers, like you had squads of troopers that were led by an officer. And then you have someone who leads those types of squads or something. So 1-1, I don't know about that. Well, it's interesting. All right, the really interesting O-ring announcement is Duke and Cobra Commander. And not just because, I mean, we figured that they would be coming. We got a Cobra Commander coming with a HasLab Sky Striker. And so I figured we were going to see those again. But if you notice what's going on here, There's something hugely different going on here than with some of the other O-ring figures. And they specifically said they have painted these O-ring figures as Sunbow inspired, the cartoon inspired. That's really interesting if you ask me. So this Duke is painted, has different colors than the version 1 Duke. This Cobra Commander is a little bit different than the version 1 Cobra Commander. And this is even actually more different than the HasLab Cobra Commander. The HasLab Cobra Commander does not have this silver gray white portion on the head. He does not have gloves that go up onto his wrists. And if I remember correctly, this gray belt is colored black. So there are differences. But I'm going to throw out something here. An interesting thought. There is a company called Super 7 that is doing a lot of cartoon Sunbow cartoon inspired action figures. Whale, and they've got new molds. These are based off of the original version 1 molds, but they're painted in the Sunbow colors. I don't know. That's really interesting to me. And price-wise, I'm just going to throw out a number. I'm thinking that these are going to be $40. The Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes O-ring set, $39.99 on Hasbro Pulse. Unless they change it, like raise it, I'm guessing the Officer and Trooper, the Duke, and Cobra Commander, each of those will be $40. So essentially $20 per figure. That puts it at what? $1? About $1 over, maybe $2. I don't know if the reaction figures are $17.99 or $18.99. I don't remember. So these are about $1 or $2 over that with better articulation. G.I. Joe original 80s articulation and design and build. I think for me it's worth it on that one. I mean, you can see I've got reaction figures right here, back up here. I have them out. I bought them. They're not out of their package at the moment. I like looking at them. It's been really hard for me to make a video review about them because when I review things, I open things. And these things up here, they're really pretty. They're really good looking. And they're really reminiscent. And I just like the look, especially Cobra Commander right here. This is the Target exclusive. Wave 2, I think it was a Target exclusive. It's got the shiny logo and the shiny mask and the vac metal Cobra Commander. I mean, this is a really cool one right there. And I don't know, I may have to buy a second one to open. We'll see. But I'm looking at these and thinking, these might be, that might be pulling me back a little bit. I may not want to buy those Super 7 ones if I get this kind of figure. I don't know, we'll see. And then, of course, with the Troopers... Go away. What is that? Go away. Technical difficulty. Sorry there. But anyway, so, the Troopers look like version 1. They don't look like Sunbow, but maybe they do enough. I don't know. Do they have different H-backs and Y-backs? Do we care about H-backs and Y-backs? I don't know. Do you? So yeah, O-ring stuff. Really cool. Classified stuff. Really cool. New characters. Really cool. I mean, there's a lot of things that you could sit here and nitpick about and say, oh, well, this is bad, or I hate repaints, or this or that. And I could do that. I could sit here and say, why are we getting another repaint of Destro? Why are we getting another repaint of Lady Jaye? Why are we getting another repaint of Baroness? I could just sit here and go off about all that stuff. But I don't want to, because I genuinely like what I'm looking at. Do I think as a business they should be doing that? I don't know. I'm not in their business. That's not my concern. My concern is, do I like what I see? Do I legitimately like what I see? And there's been a few times, very few times on my channel where I've mentioned where there's things I don't like. So I like what I see. I think this stuff is really cool. Am I going to buy it all? Truthfully, I probably will, because I like what I see. Man. Although these twins, they can't get here fast enough. Yeah, these twins cannot get here fast enough. So, okay, I'm going to throw a question of thought out to you. So with these retro, let's go to Destro. With these retro carded classified figures that are in scale with all the other classified figures. Now, with Destro, they didn't remold anything. He looks the same as the version 1 classified figure. He's just repainted to look like Sunbow cartoon. Well, Super 7 is doing a 7-inch, roughly 7-inch, Sunbow-inspired Ultimates line. The Destro looks really good. Actually, all of them look really good. I think they all are pretty awesome. They're all really cartoon accurate. But here's a question I'd throw out to you. Would something like this make you maybe not want that figure? I don't know. I just want to get some feedback. I'm kind of curious what people are thinking. Because that Ultimates looks really good. It does. It looks really good. But these are, what, $20 cheaper? Aren't Ultimates like in the $50 range? $55, I think, is what the G.I. Joes. And these are like $23, $24, $23 maybe. Well, actually, you know what? These are retro carded. They might be actually a little bit more. Maybe not. So they might be $23. Got Gung-Ho. If they put out a Gung-Ho, is this your Gung-Ho? He looks pretty good. Now, there's only a few. Like, we can go to Baroness. Baroness isn't a problem. I mean, this is a very different Sunbow version of Baroness than what Super 7. They're giving us the really original Baroness, the other colored, you know, the sunglasses, and I don't remember the blue outfit. And Lady Jaye, she looks quite a bit different too. Now, what will be interesting is to know if you can take the hat off and put her hair on like the original. I'm sure you can. I can't imagine they'd change something like that. I suppose they could glue the hat and the hair, this one, on, but that would be interesting because in the cartoon, I don't think did she ever wear a hat in the cartoon? I don't think so. I think it was always she had her hair out. So actually showing off the hat is not actually as Sunbow accurate as it could be. So that would be interesting. And that Ultimates Lady Jaye looks pretty good. In fact, actually, let's go back. This isn't actually I'm going to say this is not a Sunbow inspired figure, because I'm just thinking about it as I'm talking. This is actually version 1 inspired, because she had the same light green outfit, the entire figure. In the cartoon, she actually had dark green pants or brown pants. And she had some different color pants than her top. So I'm going to take everything back. They said Sunbow inspired, maybe colors. I don't know. It can't be. It has to be version 1 inspired colors, because so let's get away from that one. I'm excited. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. This is the 40th anniversary of G.I. Joe, a real American hero, this year. And they actually even mentioned that the end of February, I believe it was the end of February, they're going to have some big 40th anniversary announcements. Maybe they're going to be telling us when some of this stuff comes out. Maybe they've got some new stuff. We had some other classified figure leaked information not too long ago. 3 characters we didn't know who they were going to be. One has been mostly confirmed. It's just short of Hasbro saying, yes, this is going to be it, which was Falcon. Pretty sure he's coming through. And then the rumors that maybe the other 2 are Dr. Mindbender, maybe a Scrap Iron. Those are the 2 names I've been hearing thrown around. Pretty cool sounding. So we could be, we've got another pet coming this year. Some people think Mutton Junkyard. Some people have thought Law and Order. I think even a few people thought Shipwreck and Polly, but I don't think they'd charge $43 or $44 for a Shipwreck and a Polly. Polly's too small. I think that would be like spirit level. So, but quite possibly we might be getting Mutton Junkyard. We're kind of skewing towards maybe more of the older classic figures, so I don't think we'd be quite to Law and Order. I would love Law and Order, but I'm going to throw this out there. If they ever do a Law and Order, besides the fact that I would be super excited and super ecstatic, if they ever do a Law and Order, they need to make it look like Kirk Bozigian. That's just like a thing. They have to do the art. I don't want to see any of this, changing the look of Law. That's a side rant that I shouldn't even be on right now. But I want that. I think that'd be one of the biggest, coolest things that they could do, is make Law, keep Law's image intact. That's just me. So I better quit. I could ramble on. I could talk G.I. Joe with you all day long. In fact, I do talk G.I. Joe all day long with some people in various Discord servers, and randomly on Facebook. So I got to be careful, because I could talk forever. I hope you found this kind of interesting. I hope you liked it all. If you did, hit that like button for me, please. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'm wanting to try and get more G.I. Joe content on the channel because G.I. Joe is my biggest passion. I do like Fortnite, and I really enjoy the action figure line. But when it comes down to it, if I had to escape my house from some natural disaster, I will grab my G.I. Joe stuff, as much of it as I can, that I would allow. I would grab my G.I. Joe stuff before I grab that Fortnite stuff. G.I. Joe is my biggest passion, hobby-wise and action figure, toy, whatever-wise. And so I really want to get more G.I. Joe content. I really want to talk G.I. Joe. I really want to have more videos. So if you're a G.I. Joe fan, please consider subscribing. It helps me to know that people are interested in seeing me talk about it, I guess. Because there's information everywhere. Anyway, I will let you go. I'm hyped. Are you hyped? I am excited for these new figures. This is going to be a bang-up year, banger year, whatever you call it. I've never used that terminology. This year is going to be sick. This is going to be a great year. Yo, Joe. And I'll see you in the next video.